Hello, crafty friends. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I am Beth Roy, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today we are going to talk about the mirror image technique for our coffee and a card. So I'm just going to pull up my video here. There we go. I'm going to adjust just a tad. So, good morning, good morning. If you come in, please say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. Good morning, Vicki and Linda. Looks like Facebook's going to be fun again today. I saw some comments on my phone. So let's see if it lets me watch on my computer. I've had some technical difficulties in the last couple days. So we will see. So I wanted to let you all know if you, okay, there we go. Now I can see them. If you saw my pre-order video, you will notice that the second one ended up on this page instead of my group. Well, I don't know what was going on yesterday, but it didn't want to cooperate with me. So, yes, Vicki, today is a new day. But I wanted to let you know, I appreciate all of you who watched me live and watched the replay. However, I downloaded that video and then uploaded it again into my private group, Stamp and Create with Beth, because that is where I intended that video to be. And that is where part 1 is. And the whole reason why I have part 1 and part 2 is because my internet went out. So, I wanted to let you know that video was deleted from my page, even though it had tons of comments, and I truly, truly appreciate all of you, and I hated losing that. But I put it in its rightful place over in the group. So feel free to make a comment over there or watch it again over there. If you're not part of my Stamp and Create with Beth group, you may join, and all you have to do is answer the questions. I do that for security reasons and just to kind of get you to know you a little bit. Good morning, Dad. Thanks for joining us. So today, I want to talk about the mirror image technique and a couple ways that you can do it. This is also can be referred to as the reflection technique, because you certainly can use this technique to create a reflection if you're doing a water scene or anything that's reflective. So I want to show you a couple ways you can do it. You will need a stamp positioner, whichever one you have works, and this silicone mat. So we use these a lot of times when you're gluing something. You can use this because the adhesive just peels off of this when you're done, but you can also use it for this technique. And mine, I used it to make strippy background, so it's a little dirty, but I got it clean enough to work with it today. It is wise to invest in more than one, maybe. So you can see here for the few that I have laying here, I haven't completed a card yet, but I used Playing in the Rain. So one thing about this mirror image or is if you want a clear image, it works better with line stamps that you are coloring. And you're going to see this one on the end looks a little blurry. And that's because I used, this one I used the first technique I'm going to show, and this one I used the second. So it has a little bit more blurred lines. Now, if you're making a reflection and you're stamping trees or mountains or whatever you're stamping, it's okay when that's blurry, because that's the point of a reflection, is it's not exact lines. So I'm going to show you this way, and you're going to see how I stamp on both sides, because this is actually the mirror image. And I'm going to show you this way because if it has a die cut, this is a great way to be able to cut it out. So I'm going to give it just a few minutes to make sure everybody's here. So tell me, have you guys decided if you like any of the new colors? Have you seen any of the new colors? And take a little coffee break and hope that everything works. Well, now I'm not seeing comments again. Oh, Facebook. Let me try one other thing. This thing drives me nuts. Good morning, Jenny. Yes, Dad. I'd love to fix it with a hammer. You should have seen how I felt yesterday. Let's see. Let's see if it'll let me view it this way. And keep my comments going. You know, and it could be, it is still pretty chilly here, and we've been having some internet issues, so it could be the internet, but, so anyway, I prefer to use an image that is a line image that you're going to add color to. So, I like to use birds. A lot of times when you're doing, birds or maybe several things stacked on a card, you might want them facing different directions. I also grabbed out this set. It's leaving, it's retiring, but you may want to have mirror images of your birdhouses. Or this is one of my favorite sets that's leaving, and I haven't used it near enough. These cute little piggies. So you can do a mirror image with them. Now, these sets do not have dies, so I do want to show you the technique with one of these at least, because this bird has a die and these little characters have dies that go with them. And I want to show you how you can do a mirror image and then die cut it. A lot of things are easy to fussy cut, and that's okay too, but I just want to show you so that you have that little knowledge in the back of your head if you need it. Linda, you like some but not others. I really was pleasantly surprised. The only one I'm not sure about using a ton of is the bubble bath color, and that's only because I don't really use a lot of pinks in that tone. But I don't think it's a bad color. And with the new daisy paper that's coming in May, that color is really pretty on that paper. And so it's kind of won me over a little bit. Not saying I'm going to use it all the time, but I do think it will be a nice color for certain things. So, what do you think? You guys want to see me do this little character in reverse? And I'll show you both ways. And then I'll show you how to die cut it. Now, I'm going to make a slimline card out of this. And I want to tell you, I used a returning color, Pretty Peacock. Lost Lagoon is a returning color, but it was from a long time ago. I never even had that color. And then I paired it with Mint Macaron. What do you think? I am sad that color's leaving. I do like it, but I also think I'm going to love this Lost Lagoon. Now, these are blends, so they look a little different than the ink colors because blends are a different medium. They're an alcohol ink, and we have a light and a dark, so they don't look exactly like our stamped ink colors. But I think I'm going to stamp this with Oh Happy Day. And the back has all kinds of awfulness on it because I was trying to work on spacing. So just to let you know, I am human. Look. See, we all are. Don't give up on yourself. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my stamp positioning tool, and I am using the one Stampin' Up! Pad, but you can use whatever. I like using a tool like this because I feel like I get a crisper image, and it's not that blurry line look. And I'm going to show you both so that you know and you can see. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put my paper in here. And I'm going to use this little bunny, but you could use whatever. We can use something different for a card. Right now I'm going to show you the technique, and you let me know if you want to make a card with this little bunny who's super cute, or if you want to use something different. So I'm just going to put it on my paper. Actually, I need this. What am I doing? I'm going to put it in here, and I'm actually going to use the mat. I'm not going to stamp on my paper yet. But if you're die cutting it, it doesn't matter where it's at. So unless you're stamping onto your actual piece, it doesn't matter. So what you need is a stamp positioning tool, your silicone mat, and this keeps the ink wet so that it can transfer. Move that before I have a magnet accident here. So I'm just going to grab this and pick it up. And I'm using basic gray ink. Oh, okay, Vicki. Let us know how it turns out. I don't have that one, so. And this doesn't have to be perfect, but I like to put it right in the corner. And I'm just going to ink up my stamp. Now, some of you may have seen me do this before. And one of the reasons, sorry, my thing's sliding everywhere. One of the reasons why I like to use a stamp positioner to do this technique is because I want to add a lot of ink to this, and it does not want to stay where I want it to. So I'm going to put my magnet on there. Oh my goodness. So I've inked it up once, and I'm just pressing down onto that silicone mat, and then I'm lifting up. Now you can probably see the wet ink on there. Okay. So that is good enough, but I like to add a little bit more ink. I just feel like I get a crisper image when I add 2 or 3 coats of ink. So that's why I don't want this mat to move. And I'm just holding it there. I want that ink to go over there and just stick to that silicone mat. Now, I'm going to take my paper, and I'm just going to lay it down. And then I'm going to close this again. And there's enough ink on here that you get a good image on both sides. So there's that. And when I lift this up, there's my mirror image on the other side. So the reason why I like doing this is because I can put this in my die cut machine. Let me see if I can pull that over here without knocking everything around. Oh, and I need to grab those dies. That would be super helpful. Okay, so I'm going to pull this over. And hopefully you can see, but so here's my mirror image on this side, and I want to die cut it. So what I'm going to do is, because I pressed down on that to help that transfer, I now have this image on this side, and I can die cut it the way it goes. So that's my reasoning for doing it this way. Now, I don't think it cuts out the puddle. It doesn't. There might be a die that, no. So you can fussy cut it if you want that puddle on there. I'm just going to use this how it is. I guess I never realized I haven't used a die on this one yet. So now I'm going to die cut it like normal. Run it through. I know you couldn't see the whole thing, and I'm sorry about that. I don't have quite enough space here. My camera's not quite high enough. Okay, so let me move this. So there's my die. And my bunny going the right way. And then on the back is my bunny going the opposite way. So there's a stamp in here too. There's another little puddle. Or you could just cut that out. You could cut it out. Either way. So that's the tip for die cutting. I use it a ton when I'm doing birds. Okay. And I wanted you to see that before I showed you the other way. And you don't have to have that. I could have just turned this over and cut a square. Excuse me. Or cut a circle around him. And it would have been fine. So there's our guy going the opposite way. Excuse me. The other way to do this is, oh, ouch. Ouch. Come on, magnet. Is you can leave it in here to do it. You can add ink on this and then pick this up and put it where you want, or you can do this. So you can add ink the same way we just did, or I'm going to show you this way because this works really great when you want a reflection. But I don't love it when I'm just putting it on the front of a card. It's okay. It gets the job done, just not my favorite way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this off. And I just have a microfiber cloth. You could use whatever. It's dry. I'm just wiping the ink from this because I don't want anything left on it. So I've got it clean. Now, let me grab a block here. I'm going to mount my stamp. And I'm going to clean it really quick, just so I know it's clean. Now, I'm going to bring in my ink. I'm going to ink this up really well. I want a lot of ink on that. Not here, though. Because that will... And then I'm just going to lay this down on the silicone mat. And I'm just holding it there for a minute. I want that ink to really stick. Now I'm going to pull up. You'll see there's still a lot of ink on my stamp, but it has transferred. Now this, let's move that. Now you can bring your project in, bring your piece of paper, and you can take the silicone mat and turn it over and lay this wherever you want it to go. And don't move it. I think I moved it a little bit. I hope not. His leg might not go be in the right place. So I'm just going to press it down, and I want to make sure that I press it really well and I don't miss any spots. And then when you lift it up, there's your rabbit. So for whatever reason, I don't know what I did on this one. I must have squished it, moved it somehow. Somehow I got him a little too fuzzy on the edges. But you'll see, it's not bad. It doesn't work bad that way. So if you don't have a stamp positioner, you can do this. You just have to be a little more careful. And then if you wanted to die cut, it would be a lot harder to figure out where your die goes. So I do like this technique for when I want to die cut things and put them on the front of my card. So that's the technique. Pretty simple, right? Anybody have questions? So I'm just cleaning my stamp and time for a coffee break. And I'll clean that off in a minute. Okay, am I not seeing comments again? Well, I hope I am. So, do we want to use this little guy and make a card? Now, how I did this card was I stamped on this side and made my reverse image the way I did with the Stamparatus the first way I did the technique. Then I just stamped, and then I used my silicone mat and stamped, and then put the mat on here where I wanted it. Like I said, it's not too bad. It's just not as perfect as I wanted, but that's okay, right? Thanks, Vicki. I think it's a great technique, and it helps you kind of extend your stamps a little further. It's really fun to use when you're making a scene and you want a reflection. So you can stamp solid images on this. And let me show you. Do you guys want me to show you a solid image and why I don't think it works quite as well with a solid? Let me find a scrap piece here. This piece looks good. Let me grab a solid stamp. Let's just do this. I'm gonna grab this big bear. And I'm sure there's a way to do it. Maybe I'm not good at it. Let's use a new color. Because typically you wouldn't use gray. You would want to use your color. Oh, Linda, you're having one of my days. I feel like Facebook is definitely giving me some problems. So it may be some Facebook glitches going on. I don't know what's going on with them, but they need to get their act together because we want to meet up on Saturdays and have some fun. So, but I hope, Linda, that anything that you've missed, you can catch the replay and see how it's going. So I'm going to try to do this bear. So this is from the Wildlife Wonder. It has a lot of detail and it's very solid. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And I'm just going to let you know ahead of time. I've not had a lot of success. Maybe this would be great if I was doing a reflection of a bear into some water. Oh, I got it, Vicki. That's what I grabbed, pecan pie. Great suggestion. So I do hope you will give this technique a try because it's fun. So I just want to wipe this down and make sure that I don't have any other ink on there. And these are, you can just clean these off with a water or very mild soap. I'm just wiping it with my cloth so it's clean. So I'm going to ink up my bear. I love this stamp. This is one of my, I need to use this set more. It's really a great set. I'm going to ink up this bear. And I'm just going to pick a spot and press down like I'm stamping. Well, I would like, we can try the water reflection, Vicki. I guess it's whatever you guys want to do this morning. But I just want to show you a solid image because It works well if you want it to be a reflection, because I don't feel like the image comes out very well. But if you want an image to go on the front of your card, that's just a mirror image, the line stamps work the best. So that's why I wanted to show the technique, because a lot of times we have a bird, or, you know, we want our, even if you wanted these two characters to face each other, or this cute turtle with a flower and have one facing the other, this is a great technique. Of course, Vicki, of course. That's what I'm here for. Okay, I've let it sit there. I've pressed. I'm pretty sure it's transferred. Now, make sure you lift straight up, because if you pull to the side, you're going to be able to tell. So see, there's still a lot of ink left on my stamp because the silicone mat's only going to hold so much. Now, this looks really good. I might make a liar out of myself. Okay, so I flipped my piece over, and I'm going to guess. Actually, I'm not going to flip it over. Why am I doing it this way? I'm going to turn this, probably because I touch everything and mess it up. That's why I don't want to flip it over. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to put this guy over here on the side toward the end, and I'm going to lay him down, and don't move him. And then you just want to press. You're transferring that ink. Maybe I'm getting better at it. We'll see how it looks. Sometimes I rub it with a block. Sometimes I've tried my bone folder, but really you just need to make sure that you've pressed everywhere there's ink and got a nice impression. So let's see how this guy turns out. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Ooh, he turned out pretty good. Pretty good. And that's the new pumpkin pie. Maybe it's because he's detailed and he's not real solid. I don't know, but it worked out for me today. So I'm just wiping that off, and you can tell if you got all the ink or not because it will be shiny. So I still have ink on this. Let me flip this over and stamp just so that you can see what the image, and of course it'll be like a stamped off image. So that's how it originally looks when you stamp it. And there's the mirror image on the other side. So I didn't do too bad. That actually looks pretty good. I think I did okay. So that's something else you can do. You know, if you're trying to design something and you're not sure if it's going to work out, maybe just test it on a scrap piece and see how it works out, because you might surprise yourself like me. Yeah, now that I've, you know, come up with an idea, now I want to play with that image, especially with my stamp set that's leaving Mountain Air. And I'm sorry to everyone that did not get it before it sold out. It sold out really quick. Okay, so what do you guys think? We got about 30 minutes of playtime here. What kind of card do we want to make? So this one I made kind of as a slimline, and I thought I would put the "Oh Happy Day" on a little square and put it on here. I'm not sure which colors I'm going to use to mat it, because I'm not sure which ones what I love yet. But I do like my little slimline card. Yeah, so this stamp set, maybe this solid stamp wasn't the best one to pick. Maybe I should pick another one. But sometimes, and maybe it's because I've used it where I use the Stamparatus and then I'm getting too much ink. Maybe it works out better with the way I just showed you. So my best advice is to test it out and maybe use a scrap piece and get used to, you know, holding it and flipping it over and not touching your image. and just have fun with it. So, do we want to make a card with this cute bear? So here's, now on this, I don't know that you need a mirror image of this. This is like the ground in this set. Maybe we'll just make a guy card today. So you can still stamp this. It's like his little shadow. I think it is intended to go this way like this. We could attempt to do a mirror image so that it goes this direction. Or you can just stamp it several times and don't worry about it lining up. But we could do a guy birthday card, or we can do some bunnies. Anybody have any preference? I'm not even sure what size this is. This looks like 6 by 3. So this must have been a mini slimline that I had cut and didn't use. A lighthouse reflecting in the water. That would be cool. Okay. So trying to think if I can reuse this piece. Nobody has any ideas this morning? Okay, well, let's just finish out this card then, and we'll make a slim line, and we'll make it a birthday card. And let's do this. So if you're commenting, I apologize. I haven't seen any comments other than I did see Vicky's comment. I don't have any current lighthouse sets. Let's see what. I'll move some things here. I am not planning to die cut. I just wanted to show kind of how to do it. Because a lot of times when I do like birds and maybe I'm tucking them in with leaves and stuff, I do die cut those. You don't have to die cut. You can fussy cut. Most things are pretty simple to do that with. But I just wanted to kind of show how I do that. So it's not necessary. We're going to do a simple card today. I like to keep it simple, but show you how you can step it up and make it a little more advanced. So let's see. I want to stamp some ground in here, but I don't want my bear feet to get all covered up. So I'm trying to think of maybe some crumb cake or a light green that I can stamp off and it won't look like his feet are green. You could also mask him. I'm just gonna use Old Olive, my go-to color here. And I think I'm gonna try to maybe stamp around his feet so I'm not getting right onto his feet. Yeah, I think I want to add a little color. What do you think? Anybody have a preference before I stamp it? So it stamps that way, and you can even try it this way. So it's a little backwards, and you could try to do the mirror technique. So, but I'm just going to try to use this and go down around his feet so I'm not getting his feet. And I used the new pecan pie for my bear. My Old Olive is extremely juicy. So I'm just going to, and I might have to stand up. Oh, true. Could be like a boulder. So let's try to just kind of fill in. Like he's walking through. And I am stamping off just to kind of have some different tones there. So that's the ground. His shadow's a little off, but that's okay. I really love this new pecan pie. I think it's going to be a great brown. It's just really pretty. I really like it. So there's my ground. And then this stamp set has some little, I think those are meant to be flowers, but they're one stamp. So I get really lazy sometimes, and I don't like to color and try to put different colors on there. So they're just going to be green. If I can get my stamp out of the case. There we go. There it comes. And I'm just going to put these around. And I think I'm just going to use the Old Olive. You could get out your markers and get really, really detailed. But I'm just going to leave it green. Put some over here. Oh, yellow. I guess I should have thought of that. Sorry, I didn't read your comment until after I already stamped. I guess I could have used, ooh, geez. Watch out, flying stamps and an open ink pad. I guess I could have used that new wild wheat. That would have been a good idea. Wish I had seen that comment before I stamped. I was in a hurry, wasn't I? That's okay. We have yellow, or I mean green. Now, if you wanted stuff in the background, you could mask your bear and really layer it up. I'm just going to leave him kind of simple. He's just moseying along. Now, I will say this you could use for clouds. So let's try that just to add a little bit in the sky. I'm going to use that as a cloud. So now y'all can let me know what color you want for the clouds, because I guess I should have waited and asked on the other one. The creative process is for all of us. So I'm going to use that little shadow stamp as my clouds. So what do you guys think? We can use balmy blue. We could try the brighter blue. We could use pool party. My go-to for clouds is typically the pool party, because I just feel like it's a nice soft color. It's not blue. It's more, in my mind, more in that turquoise or teal family. Not turquoise, teal. But we also have balmy blue. That would work. So what do you guys think? Balmy blue or pool party? And let me grab those. So this probably just has a little more green in it. It's more of a green blue, where this is more of just a light blue. Vicky votes for pool party. Linda says pool party. That would probably be my choice too. So let's go with it. And I'm testing out on my grid paper here. I just want to see how dark it's going to be. I don't know if I want a dark cloud in there, but I have a dark spot over here, so I could balance it a little bit by stamping one up here. Oh, Jenny. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I will ask everybody if they could keep Jenny in your thoughts as this week approaches. So I'm going to let this hang off, and I'm just going to go for it. Put a little cloud there. And then I'm going to flip it over so it's going the opposite direction. I'm going to put one there. And I'm going to stamp off a few times and maybe add over here to this cloud. And add a little cloud over here. So we have some sky now. Now, I know it's white back here. Like I said, if you want it really, oh yes, if you wanted to add a little gray, that would be nice. But if you wanted something in this background, if you really wanted a scene, you could mask your bear and stamp things so that it looks like they're behind him. But we're going to keep it simple today. That's going to be a different video because I don't want to overwhelm you with lots of things. So our main focus today is learning how to do the mirror technique. So we're going to keep it simple. I cleaned my stamp. And now I'm going to stamp, let's see. I don't know if I have any room for sending birthday wishes. Maybe we could just leave the front blank and put it on the inside. I didn't plan my... Good morning, Tracy. No worries. We could overlap the bear a little bit here and stamp it in a darker color, or we could stamp it up in the sky in a darker color, stamp right over our clouds. Or we can leave this as is and stamp it on the inside. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Tracy, today I showed 2 ways to do the mirror technique, and while everyone's kind of deciding, this was my little slimline that I made, and with my cute little bunny here. I haven't finished it, but that's okay. You get the idea. I'll finish it in just a bit. So we're going to finish off this card. Typically when I do solid stamps, they don't come out great, but a smaller sentiment. Well, this one doesn't have... Now, I could put a note of thanks on here. We could make it a thank you card instead of a birthday card. We could put a note of thanks on there, down here. There's also to a great guy. So I guess if you were making a guy card, you could stamp the front to a great guy and then sending birthday wishes. I just don't typically put to a great guy on the cards, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Like up here. So Vicki said put it in the cloud. I don't know if that makes it feel off. Do you think it makes it feel unbalanced by putting it up there? I know, Vicki. I know. I do need to step out of my comfort zone. It's just not something I typically say. So Tracy suggested sending birthday wishes across the middle of the clouds. So there's some things to think of. So Vicki liked the note of thanks in the cloud, and because the bear is very dominant. The bear is the dominant thing in on the front of our card. You could also stamp something on a strip and then pop it up so that it goes over top maybe where you stamped these. So you can always stamp a strip, and I wouldn't use this wide of a strip, but this is an example, and then kind of cover up down here to balance that out. Anybody else have any thoughts? So I can't really see. So we have this birthday wishes in the middle, or note of thanks, or I don't have too many. See, that's how I feel, Linda. I like the white space to have something in it. I feel like it feels off to me to have nothing right here. And that's just my opinion. That's my creative eye. But you can also, like I said, if you don't want it up here in the clouds, and I mean, I don't know that I'm not saying that's wrong. I just don't know. And sometimes I don't know until I stamp it. But you could also stamp on a strip and cut it out and maybe mount it over something too, or spread it out. So like if you stamped this and cut around it and then popped it up so that these are kind of behind this, you could do that too. So there's lots of ways to do this. I just try to make sure my card feels balanced in the end. So there's no wrong way. It's whatever you feel. Now, I think this greeting might be too big to put up here. Like this one is a little more condensed, but this feels like it might be too big. So like this. So it's below the cloud, but not all the way down here. Okay, so who's in agreement? And I'll probably have to get out my Stamparatus because these, I don't know that these are all even. I guess it wouldn't matter if it was not exactly perfect. What do you think? You think this is better? Okay, let's vote. Who wants to do To a Great Guy? I'm going to try to freehand it without my Stamparatus. So everybody hold your breath when I get ready to stamp. Who wants to do To a Great Guy? And kind of in front of the bear. Not quite to the ground. So it fills a little bit of the white space. But it leaves a little bit. Thank you. Good job, Vicki. Vicki was guiding us on that one. Now we just have to pick a color to stamp it in. And hope that when I stamp it, I can remember exactly where it was. So, we need to think about what color we're going to make our card base and what we're going to mount this on. What color do you think you would like? We used Pool Party, which would be a really bright base for this card. Old Olive, and the new Pecan Pie. So I don't know if you want the base. Vicki, never be sorry. Never be sorry. It's okay to throw your opinions around in here. That's what we're here for. We're here to explore. And you're right, sometimes I get pushed out of my comfort zone, and that's okay. Pecan pie. So, are you talking about for this greeting? So I don't know if you want to do the base and the greeting the same. That would mean that it kind of helps our focal color and what you want it to look like. So remember, this is kind of that reflection or mirror image. So it might not appear exactly like that when we stamp our greeting. So let me just test this out. I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to stamp it over here. So that's what it's going to look like. It's darker than this image, and that's because we did that technique. And when we put the ink on a silicone mat, so it's not going to look exact, but that's how dark it is. And then I do have, let me move this before I get cardstock in it. I do have a couple sheets of each new color. If you watched my video yesterday, you saw that I bought the mixed pack because I wanted to see which colors I thought I was going to like before I bought big packs of these colors. So here's the pecan pie. This is how the ink stamps, and this is how it would look if you wanted that color for your background. I think I already have an old olive base over here. I got a lot of things right in front of me that needs put away. I don't want that one. I think this is old olive. Now I would have to cut a new piece, but this just gives you an idea if you want to do old olive for the base. So what do you think for the card base? I'm going to go ahead and stamp our greeting in the pecan pie. I hope that's what you were voting on. I got a little ahead of myself. And let's see what base we would like, because once I cut it, all right, let me stamp our greeting. Are you saying for the base, Vicki? I'm going to stamp our greeting in that pecan pie so that we can test out what base we want. Everybody hold your breath. I don't know why. It always makes me so nervous. I should stamp the greeting first and then build around it so that if I mess up, I can do something different. Okay. So let me see if I have a piece of pool party nearby. Okay. This is pool party. So this is just to give you an idea. I'd have to cut a new piece because this will be a different size. So there's pool party. I do kind of like that. It kind of brightens it up and kind of makes the bear the focal point. And you know what's funny is I wouldn't have originally have even said that color because I would have thought it was too bright. But it does look good. I do like it. So there's pool party. This is old olive. Let me move this so we don't see all that yucky distraction. There's old olive. Okay. Again, there's not a wrong answer. It's how you like your card. And then here's the pecan pie. So what do you think? Pool party, old olive, or pecan pie? Now, if this was trimmed down a little bit, you could just do a matte and then do a white base. If you don't have a lot of colored cardstock, you could just make a matte and then make the base white. But I have this so that I have it cut so that there's no matte. So you could trim it down a little bit and matte it, or you can just leave it as is and put it on a colored base. I have 2 votes for pool party. Anybody else want to throw their hat in? Let me see. Trying to see if I have anything nearby. I don't think I do. I have way too much paper out over here next to me. So what do you think? Linda likes the pecan or pecan. I guess it's however you want to pronounce it, right? So I've got 2 for pool party and 1 for the pecan. I'm gonna grab some paper. I think they all work very well. Yes. Yeah, they both, either one of these work. Or you could even make one a matte and one the base. It isn't wrong. And it really, like Linda is saying, depending on which color you pick, is kind of what draws your eye and which colors kind of pop and which seem a little bolder or maybe makes it a little more muted. So again, there's no wrong answer here. Oh my gosh, do I have to be the deciding factor, or are we going to go with the 2 votes? So once again, here's pool party. And I do like the brightness of it. It was unexpected for me because I originally thought to just do this one because that's what I stamped the greeting in. So you think if we did this, and I can trim this down a little bit. You're right. They both work, Linda. That's why I keep saying there's not a wrong answer. It's how you want your card to feel. So who likes Vicky's idea? So you would make a pool party mat, and then you would make the pecan pie the card base. And then we'll finish up. Now for the inside, don't know if I have any more little white pieces. We'll cut this down. For the inside, I would just cut that small piece it was a card base going the other direction. So I don't want to cut it. It's already scored. That's okay. I can cut a piece down. So for this, let me see. That weighs 8.5. So my inside is going to be, my card folded is going to be 8.25, or I'm sorry, not 8.25. This was a mini. It's going to be 6.25 by 3.25. So my my inside piece, you can make it the same size, 6 by 3. Or you can make it a little bit smaller since we're going to be cutting that piece down. I'm just going to trim a little piece here. So I'm going to make this 6 by 3 for the inside. And you could stamp maybe this piece and maybe some sky and the little greenery in there. Oh, no worries, Vicki. You probably couldn't see that. That's why I have like a bunch of card bases and scraps and bits next to me. So no worries about that. You're right. If you have scraps, use those. But you, or you can just cut like I do, just grab a new piece. But yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. No big deal. So this one we would trim. I haven't seen, did anybody voting on if you want to double matte these and then make the base this color? Anybody have a preference? I do think it helps it pop, and it kind of gives a little separation between the colors. So it depends on also. It is. It is one of my faves, but it's not going anywhere, so it will be okay. So if you want to trim this down so that it can have a mat, I like to do 1/4 of an inch. If you want less of a mat, you would do 1/8. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you want this to be a little bit bigger, it doesn't have to be exact. You could do 1/8 off the top and 1/8 off one side. And do it like this, so that it just has a little tiny bit of that pool party showing. And then you could do your base. I'm going to go ahead and cut the pecan pie paper. I might have to order a pack of that. I think it's going to be a great color. So to make our base, let me think here because I only have 2 sheets of this and I don't want to mess up. So our folded card is 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I'm going to cut this to 6 1/4, and then this direction should be 7 1/2. So everybody cross your fingers while I cut this because I make myself nervous. I'm going to cut this at 6 1/4. There's the first cut. And this at 7 1/2 because, no, wait, that's not right. Don't cut at 7 1/2. So it's folded, it's 3 1/4. So if I double 3, it's 6. 6 1/2, am I doing my math right here? 3 1/4 plus 3 1/4 is 6 1/2, right? I think so. So your piece needs to be 6 1/4 by 6 1/2. And if I'm wrong, well, here we go. Okay, and then score it at 3 1/4. Oh my gosh. Thanks. Tracy, aren't you a math teacher? Are you going, Beth, what are you doing? Okay, so when I fold this, it should go in half. Oh my gosh, my brain's it is not working this morning. I'm going to put that down for a second. It just doesn't want to work. I changed my mini slimlines to be a different size. And so my brain trying to refigure math, it just doesn't want to do it. So your base piece is 6 1/2 by 6 1/4. And the 6 1/2 side gets scored at 3 1/4. There we go. And then here's this. So give me your thoughts. Do you think you need more of the pool party showing? I think it would be nice if I trimmed it a little bit more. I'll get there, I promise. Thank you, math people, for helping me out. I really am good at math, but sometimes I get nervous when I'm cutting paper. Especially now, if I had a whole pack and I could say, oh, it's okay, I cut that wrong. But I only have 2 pieces of that paper right now. So it's making me nervous. And when I get nervous, then I feel like my brain doesn't want to work right. Oh no, Linda, I'm sorry. So basically we decided to mat this and then use the pecan pie. So I think I need more of that pool party showing. I hope you guys are in agreement because that's what I'm going to do. So I only trimmed off 1/8. So I'm going to go back in and trim off a little bit more. So this was 3 inches. And I'm going to make sure it's trimmed down to 2 3/4. And I am going to cut off some of those clouds. It's okay. And then I'm going to trim off the side a little bit. So instead of 5 7/8, I'm going to make it 5 3/4. I just like doing the 1/4 of an inch because I feel like I can see more of the colors. But I did used to do only 1/8, so it's okay. There's not a wrong way. This just gives a little bit more of a border, and I think I like that better. So here's our card. And then we would have a white, just a basic white piece for the inside. I'm going to let you guys think on that for a minute. Because if you hate this piece, that's okay. This can be taken away. And this just has a wider border. So what do you think? I kind of like that we combined the 2 colors. So there's that. And I'm going to stamp this really quick because I don't like sticking it in there plain. So let me grab out a block. I'm going to use the Old Olive. And I'll probably stamp off that my pad's really juicy where I refilled it. I'm just going to stamp along the bottom and add in some grass. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of this. And since I used green on the front, that's what I'm gonna go with. Just a couple here and there. And then we can even add in some of that sky color. And you could stamp the birthday wishes on the inside if you want this to be a birthday card. Make sure I got this clean. I'm using my Springy Bird mug today, even though it does not feel like spring outside whatsoever right now. There's our inside. What do you think? Now, this is the same size as our mat. And we could stamp it, like I said, you could stamp it with the sending birthday wishes if you want this to be a guy birthday card. And it would bring in the pecan pie. So this would go in like this. We wouldn't have a pool party mat in here, and that's okay. You could trim this down if you wanted the to have a little bit wider border, but I like it as is. So while you're thinking if you want to stamp this as a birthday card, I'm going to glue this together. And I'm using my liquid glue. So if you saw yesterday my video, and Tracy, you weren't on when I said this. My part 2 video was supposed to be in my Stamp and Create group. So I have downloaded it and uploaded it again to the group so that part 1 and part 2 are together. And I deleted it off of my main page. So I want to say everyone that commented and watched it and loved the video and all that, I want to say thank you for doing that. But it just really bothered me that it wasn't in the right place. So I downloaded it, saved it, uploaded it again. And even though the comments went away, I just felt like it was better in the right place. So there's this. This will go on here. And if you're not a member of my Stamp and Create with Beth group, you're welcome to join. I just ask that you answer the questions to be approved to get into the group. There's a reason why I ask those questions. Number 1, for security purposes. Number 2, it also allows me to see why you went in the group, like what level crafter you are, and why you want to be part of our community. Of course, we want you to be part of our community. We're not saying you can't, but I do ask those questions. Thanks, Tracy. I wanted to make sure you knew because I knew it was a little confusing. And Facebook, I was in the group and went live, and for some reason it popped over to my page. I don't know what happened. Yesterday was a terrible day for me with technology. The internet kept going out and all kinds of things. So, okay, so let's do the birthday greeting, sending birthday wishes. Again, I'm just going to go with it and hope that I stamp this straight. If not, whoever gets this card for me, well, I'm sorry it's not straight. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that in the pecan pie. I keep saying that over and over, and it kind of makes me want pecan pie. And I want to test this out. We're going with it. Ooh, it's really juicy, isn't it? Very juicy. Yeah, that seems like a blessing when you get a new pad. But if you're heavy-handed like me, it makes you nervous. Okay, here we go. Sending birthday wishes. Looks pretty good. So there we have it. So yes, originally I thought we would do a line stamp and color, but here we created a card and it worked out doing the mirror image with a solid stamp. So I'm glad that we tested it out. I'm just letting that dry for a second. I want to make sure that I don't smear my words. That would make you really upset, especially when you're at the end. So I want to let y'all know, if you're shopping my online store this month, maybe you're grabbing some goodies before they're gone, or you're stocking up on, white cardstock or the adhesives you love because prices are going up May 2nd. If you're shopping and stocking up on things, everyone who orders from me this month is going to get a little something from me in the mail. I don't care what dollar amount you spend. If you buy something, you're getting a present from me. So there you have it. There's the mirror image technique. We used a new color. Oh, I love this color. Pecan pie, and we paired it with Old Olive and Pool Party. Great guy card. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you all for the love. You know I appreciate that love. I love it. I love these colors. Thanks for pushing me out of my comfort zone. And I used a greeting I would probably have never used to a great guy. I don't know. I just didn't ever feel like it fit. It's not that I don't tell people they're great. I just guess I never thought about putting it on the card. And then sending birthday wishes. So this will be a nice guy birthday card. I love this color scheme. So there's a color scheme for you. I've given you two color schemes. One with a retiring color. And I showed you my little technique and how to die cut when you have a mirror image and how to cut this guy out. I hate it that his puddle doesn't go with him. I guess I don't know if I've not cut him out or I just didn't realize it was like that. But you could easily fussy cut around it too. Ooh, Stamp the Bear and Wheat. I don't know. It might be too yellow for him. He does have like that yellowy wheat brown color on him. But my dog looks pretty much like that. Maybe the hind legs are a little different, but we could certainly try. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Jenny and Linda. I loved all of your participation. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Dad, I don't know if you're still out there, but thanks for watching. And if you're watching and you didn't say hi, feel free to say hi and let us know where you're watching from so we can get to know you. So this one I'm going to finish off. I used a color leaving mint macaron, one of my favorites. Here's the new Lost Lagoon. Now these are blends, so the inks do look different. This is Pretty Peacock. Lost Lagoon is actually a returning color. I forget when they had Lost Lagoon. Like I said, it was, I want to say it was an in color, but I could be wrong. It was before my time as a demonstrator and before my time of actually collecting ink. So I want to say I had a little ink spot of it, maybe from a paper pumpkin, but I love it. You know, it's going to be one of my favorite colors because it falls into the teal group. On the more green side, but I still love it. So thank you all for joining me today and helping me make a card and work through the creative process. And I hope you enjoyed the technique of the mirror image. You can also use this technique to make a reflection. And if it's not blurry when you stamp it, you can spritz it a little bit and blur the image. So if you have any questions about the technique, feel free to reach out to me. If you'd love to shop in my online store, you can find that at bethroy.stampinup.net and click on Shop Now. If you want to earn something from me, you can click my link on this page. I have it's up in the pin section. It has a shopping link with a host code. But I will send appreciation gifts to everyone placing any dollar amount of an order. Let's see. I think that is everything that I wanted to say as far as updates. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew about the price increases so that you could plan your budgets accordingly if you need to stock up on glue. I know I am. And I hope you all have a happy Easter. Thank you, Linda. Or if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you have a great weekend. And I will see you guys soon. Take care, everybody, and have a great day.